On today's show, Brian Schroeder is back for part 2 of our NBA draft discussion here in mid-November. And it's coming up right now.
You are Locked On Hawks, your daily Atlanta Hawks podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hello, friends. Welcome back to the Locked On Hawks podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, now the #1 sports podcast network. I am your host, Brad Rowland, here in mid-November. This is actually going to be part 2 of 2 with myself and Brian Schroeder. Brian is an NBA draft expert, a fun guest, as always, on the podcast, and we're diving in today to, again, part 2 of a two-part conversation about the NBA draft. If you missed it, part 1 is available in the same podcast feed right now, so go ahead and start with that. And if you already listened to that one, we'll dive right back in now, myself and Brian, talking about the NBA draft. Brian, I wanted to ask you about other guys, obviously. You already mentioned being impressed by this freshman class. I agree with you. The low-hanging fruit question that makes this as a transition is is there anybody that you think that can get into the top 3? Is there anybody that you think that is not the top 3 that can
4.
Get there? Yeah, they can make it the top 4.
It would have to be Mikel Brown just because I always err with the guard. This is why I had Ivy at 1 in 2022? Because I had him, Chet, and Paolo Banchero pretty much the exact same grade. And I was like, well, I'll just err with the guy who's going to have the ball in his hands. And then Ivy's leg exploded. He just wasn't. But I still believe in that general philosophy. When in doubt, err with the guard. And Mikel Brown, I've been really impressed. He is an interesting player. He gets Halliburton comps sometimes, partly because I think he also went to the U19s and dominated like Halliburton did in 2018. Yep. But I understand it because he is 6'4", thin, kind of I would call him a burst shooter. When he gets going, he gets. Sorry, a cat just caused an earthquake. It is also, I don't know, he's an interesting player because sometimes he looks too weak to do it, and sometimes, against Kentucky, he just gets into the paint at will and finishes like crazy, and you're like, okay, well, there's an NBA star. I think he has the best potential to do it because he's a deep range shooter, really pretty good passer, is okay at defense. He's a point guard, doesn't matter.
I mean, at least had size. He's 6'4", 6'5".
He's 6'4", yeah.
Yeah.
Really tall, really thin. Sean Livingston-ish. He's just not a 6'6", so I don't like him.
I was gonna say if you compare anyone to Sean Livingston, that's the most high praise you can bestow.
That's
on someone.
Another of my top 5 favorite players of all time.
I know.
I love Sean Livingston, but it would have to be Mikel Brown. I think he's a little older than some of these other guys. I think he's.
Yeah, I was gonna say he'll be 20 in April, which is not incredibly old, but it's not.
No, it's just slightly old. It doesn't. Yeah. To me, if you're within the same 8 to 10 month period, it's not a big. He's not. If he was 22, it'd be I don't know, that's kind of old for a freshman. And there is a 22-year-old freshman in this class. It's one of the European guys.
Who is it?
Tice the Ritter at Virginia is almost 22. He's categorized as a freshman. He was a pro last year.
Yeah, I know.
Player.
I didn't realize how old he was. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But no, Brown's a guy that, again, I get asked about a lot. Because look, the Hawks could be drafting as much as they want to be in the top 3. They could be in that 4 to 6 range real easy. That's probably probably the most likely spot if we're being 100% honest at this point in time. And that means Mikel Brown's a guy that I hear a lot about, and I'm intrigued a lot. I have more to watch on him.
He would actually be a really good fit with a Derek Peterson as your number 2 guard. He's a number 2 scorer, number 2 guard. I'd love him next to Ant. That'd be a great fit. He needs that kind of. He needs to not step into a number 1 option sort of scenario, which is why Louisville's been a great fit for him because they have Ryan Conwell, Adrian Woolley. What's his name? Their other guard. Doesn't matter. They have older guards who can pick up the slack on the days where he's going to go 4 for 13, which it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like him. He definitely has a lot of the traits that a franchise point guard would have. So I think he's probably the best bet to be 4. He's not a maniac getting to the rim, but he does it well enough, which is kind of I always want point guards to do that, but he's also big enough. I don't know. He's just a good guard. He's going to go top. He's shocked if he doesn't go top 8 in this class.
Yeah, top half of the lottery too.
And the traits, the shooting, from all accounts, just really, really serious minded about Like, he's probably not as good a shooter as Trey Johnson was last year, but he's better at basically everything else. So I think he's going to be. And Trey Johnson would go. I mean, it's always dumb to do redrafts this early. Trey Johnson would go like 4th if we did a redraft this year.
Yeah, he almost went that high when they actually did the draft, so it wasn't even going to be crazy. Now, the combination of basically, the ball handling, passing, shooting at that size of 6'4", like that's a good building block for sure. Yeah, Mikel Brown, the guy that was like, I think on a lot of the mainstream boards preseason was the number 4 guy was Nate Ament. Or is it Ament or Ament? How do you say it?
Ament is what I've heard. But Ament, probably, I'm sure he doesn't mind.
One of those two things. 6'10-ish.
He is unfortunately being crippled by playing at Tennessee.
Like, I don't. Okay, so this is a sidebar, but why would he go to Tennessee? Explain
I don't
this
get
to me.
Why? Rick Barnes cast his magic on people. People think like, oh, I'll play because he's had. It's honestly, I think it's because he coached Durant. People are like, oh, he coached Kevin Durant. It's the
but you're not Kevin Durant. Like,
you remember when Edwards went to play at Georgia, and one of his, it's like the 4th time we mentioned Ant. One of his reasons why was Tom Crean coached Dwayne Wade and Victor Oladipo. It's like, it was a long time ago.
At least Anthony Edwards like got to just be the guy. Like he was always going to be that kind of player. Like, I don't think Ament's going to be that kind of player. And it's like, if you're in Tennessee,
the funny thing is, we're talking about this like he's still been very good.
He's fine. I like Nate Ament. I'm just saying that always didn't make sense to me because Tennessee, I would say even more so than when Barnes was coaching Texas 20 years ago, is like a factory for being like old guys and they play grinded out and it's not. Like
your offensive game is not going to shine in Tennessee.
Anyway, what do you think? What do you think about Ament, generally speaking?
So he's the guy who, honestly, I think it's part of it's his skin tone and his general build. He's the guy who kind of reminds me of a stretched out Ricochet in a lot of ways, where like
I can see that
he can shoot. I think his defense is honestly pretty good. He's a big dude. He looks bigger than he is. Like, he looks like a 7-footer sometimes. He might be 6'11". He's like 187, 88 pounds. He'll probably be like 215 when he's fully grown up. Like, or he'll just be Austin Day and he'll weigh 175 pounds his whole life. And friends of the show like Tom will be happy because they love Austin Day. but he definitely has his issues. Ament, like Ricochet, I think this is my biggest problem with Zach, is like every time I watch him drive, he doesn't bend his torso when he drives at all. Ament drives very upright and just gets stonewalled a lot. He has very good touch though. So like, I'm not taking Nate Ament thinking like this is my star, but I'm taking Nate Ament thinking like this is my Jalen Wells. Like, this guy's just gonna start for me for like 8 years and just be very good. And maybe he develops in his physically and changes a little bit and becomes like a star. Because I just don't know about him at 4 in this draft. I think him at 4 in other like weaker drafts, like, the guy's huge and he moves really well. But
yeah, I think he's the kind of guy as a mid-lottery pick that you and I would probably like more than a lot of people would. Because like, we're big on this, and I will do this a lot probably in April and May. Like, you can't expect to draft a star at 5. Mm-hmm. Like, you might get one, but that's not the baseline. This year you might. 5. Yeah. This year you might. But I mean, in a vacuum, if you're drafting 5th, like, yeah, you want some upside, but like that's not a projection you can rationally make at that spot. No. And that might be the Nate Ament this year. And honestly, it's the same for Ricochet. I know he went number 1, but it was the same argument we were making then. Like, hey, just because he's going number 1, he's a really good prospect, but he's not a traditional number one. So it's like, have reasonable expectations for players.
And the biggest, I think, the common denominator for those two guys and for like Ace, I kind of feel about him like I felt about Ace this time last year, where it was like, he's not going to be in my top 3 or 4. But I also see people put him in the 20s, and it's like, okay, like, no, NBA's taking this guy way before then. He's huge.
Yeah, and it's very similar to Ricochet, where it's like, if you're 6'9", 6'10", and they think that you can shoot and defend, you're not going 20th.
The common denominator of all 3 of those guys is, I don't know. You'll hear people say like, oh, their handle is so good for a wing, and it's like, for a wing, can't really dribble.
I mean,
it's not the Patrick Williams thing where they have to look down at their dribble in transition. Thanks, Patrick.
Pat Williams.
But it's not. It's the difference between like, watch this guy handle and watch the Banza handle one. It's like there's the clear gap there. But
agreed.
You're also not drafting Nate to be that guy who breaks down a defense. I really like his cutting. I think he's just a really smart cutter. He just seems like a smart player. I think he'll get a little stronger and just become like a 4, like a weird, sinewy kind of like Jared Jeffries, but can score. I love Jared Jeffries.
I'm about to say that's another one of your guys, but
if Jared Jeffries shot 32% from three, he would have started in the NBA for 10 years. He just could not shoot.
And I think Ament could probably do that.
Nate's already like he's gonna be a good corner guy. Like he's a good corner shooter. Think like there's a type of player that I think we have kind of we're starting to lose. It's the Jay Crowder, Torian Prince style power forward. The guy who just fits in the Royce O'Neal's like that. Dorian Finney-Smith.
Yeah, combo forward, can play both spots.
Yeah, they just kind of fit into offenses.
And they stick.
And they stick. I think Ament's just like a really high rent version of that. Not quite the kind of athlete that like Noah Senke was last year, but just like way more polished.
Way more polished, yeah.
So yeah, he's I would be very, very happy to get that guy at like 7 in this draft to be like, this guy's going to be good. Like he's just a good player.
Yeah,
defense is really just pretty consistent. He's good hands. I like him. I just don't. He has not been, from the little I watched from high school and what I've watched in Tennessee, which is I think 4 games now. It's not scream superstar to me, but is good.
Let's discuss something that every single business owner knows all too well, and that is missed calls. When a customer tries to reach you and can't get through, that's money slipping away from you, and Quo, spelled Quo, is a smarter way to run your business communications so you can actually never miss an opportunity to get that customer engaged. Quo is the #1 business phone system built for 2025, not for 1995. It's simple, it's modern, and it's designed to help you communicate faster, look more professional, and stay connected wherever you happen to be working. I love that Quo works right away from the app on your computer or on your phone. No extra devices and no clunky landlines. Your whole team can share one number and collaborate on calls and texts like a shared inbox, which means customers can actually get help faster and more efficiently from you. Plus, our built-in AI is an actual game changer. It logs your calls, it writes summaries, it actually helps you sets up follow meetings automatically if you want to do so. And Quo makes small businesses feel big. Quo also makes big businesses feel efficient at the same time. And it's no wonder, and over 90,000 businesses are already using Quo right now. You can try Quo for free at quo.com/lockedonnba. That's QUO.com/lockedonnba. And yes, you can even keep your existing number if you want to do so. Quo, no missed calls, no missed customers. Let's be real. Making excuses actually not really solve anything. We've all heard them before. It's just stress, or I'm tired, or it just happens to be something that everyone has to go through at some point. When it comes to performance, though, your body sometimes just needs a little bit more of an extra support, and that's where Rugiet comes in. Rugiet.com offers fast-acting, doctor-prescribed treatments for ED designed to help you stop making excuses and start making moves. Rugiet makes it easy to get started. You can just connect with a board-certified doctor. It's 100% online with no awkward waiting rooms and no in-person appointments. If prescribed, your treatment actually ships directly and discreetly to your door. The process is simple, fast, and private. It's all handled by real doctors as well. It's about confidence, connection, and getting back to the moments that matter to you. You can visit Rugiet.com/lockedonnba and 50% off your first order. That's Rugiet, Rugiet.com/lockedonnba. 15% off your first order. And don't forget to use that code. It's LockedOnNBA, so they know that we sent you to them. Rugiet, stop making excuses and start making moves. I want to ask you at least one more. This might be the last guy we talk about like for a while, but Caleb Wilson's gotten a lot of attention early on, and with good reason. Like he was awesome in that Kansas game in front of a big audience. He's averaging 28 games as we're talking right now, like 20-9, 20-10 for UNC. It's been a long time since UNC had a prospect like this. By the way, and as weird as that is, that UNC has not had prospects. They just haven't for a long time.
No.
It's very strange. And there was a lot of, I know you saw these, I'm sure you did, even though I'm sure you actively try to avoid this stuff. There was a lot of, is Caleb Wilson going to get in that top 3 after that Kansas game? And
he could go 4. He could go 4 at this point because the activity level and the athleticism and he's got the little, Koa Peat's good at this too, just kind of finding the PJ Washington style. Like I'm just going to find the smallest guy and post him up and score stuff. The difference is Wilson's just a way better handler. He looks like physically, he looks like Jeremy Grant, but like with like 26-year-old Jeremy Grant's skill level, not 18-year-old Jeremy Grant who could not dribble. Syracuse Jeremy Grant. Yeah, Caleb's awesome. Caleb is like a prototypical 4 for me right now, where like this guy's just gonna fly around. Honestly, not that different. I mean, different physically, but like not that different, I think, stylistically from Jalen Johnson. Of just like,
Yeah,
he's
they are
going
kind
to
of similar.
he's going to put pressure on, like, you cannot leave him uncovered. He's just going to dunk on you. And he's going to fly down the floor.
And the defensive
spot
tools
ups.
like I like Wilson's defensive tools a lot. Like,
he's
I think
crazy.
he might be really good on defense. Like,
he's got the combination of
tools, from the offense.
The tools, the anticipatory skills, and the lack of concern for his own life that all great defenders have.
Yeah,
the Alex Caruso, that last one's the Alex Caruso skill. Like, I could die here, I don't care. What was it he said again when he was guarding Jokic against? I could die, I don't give a shit. It's like, that's how you guard Jokic in the playoffs. Just like, that's just the Javonte Green factor. Pistons fans are becoming very familiar with that, where he's just like, I'm going to block this shot. Like, I might concuss myself. I don't care. That's what the Dennis Rodman had that. Dennis Rodman threw himself chin first into the stanchion several times. Yeah. It's you have to be, if you're going to be like an all defensive guy and you're not Evan Mobley or like Wembanyama, you've got to be a lunatic.
I also want to see what Wilson measures. Like, if he's actually 6'10",
I think he might be 6'10". He's at least 6'8", 6'9".
No, I'm not doubting it. I just
Yeah.
If that's real. Like, that's a big time number too. Like, if you're that rangy and that athletic and that kind of physical and the motor runs
makes
hot,
you more of a center.
Yeah, well, at least you can play there, which I think really helps.
Yeah.
A guy like this. Not that that's not the whole selling point, but it certainly adds to your versatility in certain teams if you can play some, or at least play next to a softer big. You know what I mean?
Derek Jones. Derek Jones
Sure.
could do that a little. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to think of teams that have like more of like a pick and pop center that's more of a shooter. Anyway,
the Atlanta Hawks. They have two.
The Hawks have, apparently Kongwu's now just
the greatest shooter who's ever lived,
which I'm genuinely enjoying. And by the way, you and I always thought he was going to be able to shoot. We talked about this on this podcast. Mm-hmm. Like, we always thought it was going to happen. It took a long time, but that press conference where I don't even know if you have seen it, after I think it was his second season, maybe his rookie year, he came back and he was like, by the way, when you guys see me again, I'll have a jump shot. And he has a jump shot now. So
because they're crazy worker. I love him.
I love him as well.
Also smaller than Caleb Wilson. Shorter than Caleb Wilson.
Shorter for sure. Yeah, not probably a little bit thicker, but certainly
short. The only other guy that I'm looking at my projections here, the only other guy that I think could maybe get in that range, and I'm being very cautious because this is the kind of guy I always overrate, Dames Sar from Duke. The big guard archetype.
He was on my list to ask you about because I got to watch him more.
He's been awesome.
Yeah, I've seen him play 1.5 games at Duke so far. Is he actually 6'8"? Is that a real thing?
I have him at 6'6" or 6'7", but
okay,
he is absolutely terrorizing people at the point of attack on defense.
Yeah,
like, yes, in the way that, like, oh, you're just not. This is an NBA player out here. Like, this is an NBA player just torturing people, and like, slashing has been awesome. He's just been really effective, doing really simple stuff with crazy tools. They love him. Like, they absolutely adore him there. I knew they would. I think he's going to be a lottery pick pretty easily. Getting on there on the again, the other Duke guy, like the way Jalen did, where I told you that entire year, someone's going to see Jalen Johnson in the workout and be like, "Oh, okay."
Well, and to this day,
this guy's not a normal athlete.
I can't believe he fell to 20s to this day. I can't believe it. But it did.
Bad interviews. Yeah.
I was gonna say he left the team and all those things. That was the gain of the Hawks because everything else was fantastic. But no, Sar's interesting. I think he's going to be a little bit older too. I think he's maybe going to be 20 by the draft, which is fine.
I think he's. Let me make sure. I have his date of birth. Around that, yeah, he'll be 20 around the draft.
Yeah, June. Okay, so not crazy old at all. Yeah, I'm intrigued. I'm always a sucker for a rangy defensive guard slash wing.
The concern for me is, and part of it is, I don't know if he's going to do it on this team because this team's already loaded with guys who dribble. I want to see him actually get into the paint off dribble a little more, be a guard in that way. Because if he's a 3, he's 6'7", 7'1" wingspan. like really strong and sinewy and can defend everybody on the court. So like he's already Peyton Watson. He could probably be more than
that. That's not a bad thing. So Koa Peat, you mentioned his name briefly earlier. He had a 30-point game against Florida in a big spot on like the first day of the season or third, and got a lot of attention. It was already going to be, he was already in some lotteries.
He was a lottery level. Yeah.
Yeah. But I wonder what you think of him because that got a lot of attention. He's not been quite as good since then, which is not surprising.
The scouting report got out. It's that he's not, you make him shoot.
He doesn't. Yeah. He's taken 1, 3, and 4 games total. Not that you have to be able to do that, but in the modern NBA, if you're not, if you're only 6'8", which I think is what he's listed at,
he's 6'8".
If you can and won't shoot, that's going to be a challenge. Not that you can't do it, but it would be a challenge.
So. He does have and I don't say this facetiously, he does have an NFL style body. That's because
he's a beast.
His older brother is in the NFL.
Yes.
Andrew.
I mean, if you didn't know that, it wouldn't be surprising still.
No, he looks like it.
Physicality, yeah.
He looks like an edge rusher. He's got the Calais Campbell build where you're just like, oh my god, look at this guy. It's the only edge rusher, 6'8" edge rusher I can think of offhand. NFL Hall of Famer Calais Campbell. That will happen
with ease. Yes, I would agree.
But Koa, if Koa was 6'10", he'd just be a center, and I think he'd be happier. I really feel like, and I honestly do kind of sympathize. It's kind of how I play, especially since I've lost my burst that I once kind of had. I could dunk a little. My hands were too small, but like I could dunk. And then I put on, like 45 pounds of fat, and it's like, well, that's gone. And now he's almost like offended when he's not contacting. He wants to feel someone on his back. He wants to feel people on his shoulder and play off of that, which is how he crushed Florida's, because Florida's bigs switch so much. And aside from Chinyelu, they're not. I would say they're more over the top, like athlete guys. They're really like Alex Condon's not a bad prospect, but Alex Condon does not want to be backed down. Koa Peat, just put him in the fucking, like, just put him in the bone cage. Like,
and that's also what got him even more attention, was that Florida's front court is like very well hyped on the college level.
Yeah.
And him doing that to them was like, whoa, what's going on here?
He weighs more than all of them is what happened.
Yeah.
He PJ Washington. He mismatch hunted them and just put him in, got him like 10 feet from the basket, took the little turnaround and drilled it. And he's going to be able to do that in the NBA. And he might have better spacing to do that, but it's the reason I don't know if he's going to be a top like 6 pick is just that. What does he do other than that offensively? If he's not going to take any spot ups, like, you got to shoot some, man. James Johnson shot, like, and that's the guy physically he looks the most like to me. And like, even James Johnson took threes. He wasn't good at it. He did it.
He'll need to be able to shoot a little bit more. I think I like the defensive potential. The physicality there helps. He's got decent length, I think, from what I've seen.
Some of the same issues that another Arizona guy, Carter Bryant, was having.
And yeah, I mean, jury's out there, but defensively, Carter Bryant looks like he's going to be good, and offensively, we'll see.
You got to be able to get on the floor. I mean, Jonathan Isaac's barely on the floor anymore.
I'm with you. When SKIMS announced they're actually going to make underwear for men, the reaction made perfect sense. People have been talking about SKIMS for comfort for years. Most guys, though, stick actually whatever's going to be working for them since college, really. The same fits, the same waistbands that roll up, and a whole lot of settling in that area. And SKIMS Men's changes all of that. One upgrade, and it's obvious why everyone has been talking. SKIMS is designed to feel good, fit right, and actually stay put with no slipping, no sagging, no adjusting. It's generally great underwear that makes you feel confident and comfortable. What says it right away is the fit and the fabric, soft, supportive, and comfortable all day. No riding up. And they don't actually lose their shape, and they hit exactly where you're supposed to on your thigh. Whether you're working, traveling, or working out, or just hanging out at home, perhaps, these actually feel better than anything you've used before. I also didn't expect the underwear to be an actual game changer, but SKIMS actually completely surprised me in that area. You can shop right now at SKIMS Men's. It's skims.com. When you place your order, choose podcast in the post-purchase survey and select the archer from the menu that actually arrives to let them know that we sent you to them. Plus, the SKIMS holiday shop is open right now, so if you're looking for the perfect gift this season, SKIMS absolutely has you covered. Check it out now at skims.com. The NBA is here. The best place to get in the mix right now is FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. If you actually missed the start of the game, perhaps, or you just want to ride the hot hand during the game, FanDuel has live bets on everything you can actually imagine when it comes to which team's going to score next or comebacks in the fourth quarter. Live bets all the way across the board and much more. Plus, if you want to, you can combine your bets together into a single parlay for a shot at a bigger payout at FanDuel. On top of that, they have all kinds of bet types across the board, from point spreads to over-unders, money lines, game props, player props, future bets, and so much more. And they have all the sports that you love as well, all in one place. That includes the NBA, which we talk about all the time on this podcast, plus the NFL, college football, college basketball. They have baseball, hockey, soccer, both domestic and international leagues. They have golf, tennis, NASCAR, F1, boxing, MMA, and so much more. Plus, FanDuel's really easy to use as well, and they're fast to pay out when you win at FanDuel, and they keep every single game more exciting, especially when your team's making that big comeback late in the game. And right now, FanDuel is offering new customers $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins at FanDuel. So head right now to FanDuel.com. That's FanDuel.com to sign up and play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Before we run out of time, because, this is what we do, I know you got a list. So anybody you want to, the floor is yours now. Guys that have impressed you, freshmen, we can save the returners for later, unless there's somebody that you just desperately want to talk about.
I mean, Sturts and Phylon, I think, deserve to be mentioned because they've been awesome. But yeah.
Yeah, Bennett Sturts is actually a fascinating
Bennett Sturts is incredible.
He's a fascinating case study because he was a mid-major guy. Now he's playing at a high major level at Iowa, but he's a senior. I think he's going to be 22 at the draft, 23 at the draft. And
he'll be 22 at the draft. He'll be 23 when next season starts.
So obviously, what do you make of him? He's interesting. So he's at Iowa now, which is notable.
Having watched probably 20 college games of his now, I don't know if I've ever seen him make a bad decision. He's that kind of player.
That is the profile for him, yes.
But what's interesting is, unlike the Monty Morris, Tyus Jones types of that point guard, he is 6'4". Legit 6'4". He might be taller than that, and can dunk and is like a physical defender.
Yeah, I just pretty good athlete, and also he shot it really well for the last 2 years.
From everywhere.
Yeah, I'm into it. I just, there'll be questions. He is a 6'3", 6'4" white guy who was at Drake last year, so there'll be some.
Yeah, I mean, there's always the potential for that kind of guy to just be like Nate Walters, where you're just like, oh, he's just not NBA level. But
I think he's just not going to be that. I mean, there's a chance that he's just like a backup point, like he's more of a backup guard. That's possible to me, but I'd be surprised if he was out of the league. He's like that kind of intriguing.
Honestly, he's a different style player, but as far as just like his ability to go wherever he wants on the floor, basically run any offense he wants at any time, completely dictate the pace, play almost every minute, which is similar to this player in college. He's honestly not that. It's kind of AJ Mitchell to me, where it's just like, no, he'll be good. I didn't know if AJ was going to be like a real guy, but I had him lottery. I think 14 to 15 in that draft, because it was like, that guy's going to be in a rotation for 10 years. And he will. And I think Sturts is very similar in that, he just doesn't make any mistakes. It's really incredible. I don't know if I've seen him miss a pass. He'll miss a three on occasion because, nobody's a 100% shooter, but his ability to just kind of do whatever he wants and just control every game he plays in is really incredible for a guy who was playing at Division 2 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's mostly can he get separation against NBA defenders, that kind of thing. But the underlying stuff is really good. I mean,
which is not dissimilar to Yakachonis last year.
Sure,
but
it's a similar thing. It's not out of the ordinary. I know you've always loved Phylon. I wish he had been better against Purdue. He was not great in the Purdue game.
No, he just they forced him to take. They forced the whole team, but especially Phylon, to try and take 16-footers, and they just don't want to do it.
They really, really do not want to do it. Yes.
Yeah.
And they're coached to not do it most of the time.
Yeah. So Phylon just had, the defense was fine. He still made good passes, but he just that's sort of the concern with Phylon, is that he is not offensively as aggressive as some guards. In this draft, he's on one end of that spectrum, and Darius Acuff is on the other end of the spectrum. Darius Acuff shooting 20 times. That's just happening. and honestly, again, Darius Acuff, I see how he reminds me a lot of Jimmy Nelson, in that he's gonna shoot. You have to, that is a philosophy of point guard play. I'm here to score. I'm here to get to the rim or take open threes. It's your job to stop me. Whereas the Bennett Sturts archetype is I'm going to get somebody else an open three, which is crazy because Acuff has a 24 assist rate. He's not a bad passer, but he's just his mentality is
It's a wiring thing. Yeah.
His mentality is, it's wiring. It's nothing wrong with it. It works for some guards. Some guards work this way. Like Jameer had a higher usage than Dwight Howard on some of the teams. Like Jameer was here to shoot. He was here for a good time, not a long time.
Yeah.
And I like Acuff a lot, but he's just a little small. But Phylon's kind of in the middle of that spectrum, where like some games he attacks off dribble and gets into the paint. He killed St. John's.
Yeah, he did.
And then some games he's a little more passive, and he can't. I still don't know if he knows how to ratchet that properly. But he is my favorite ball handler in this class because he has so many like fade dribbles and like little. He does a great thing where he will on the pick and roll. You're accustomed to, especially when a guy's like setting up for a lob, you can kind of tell. Trey's actually great at not doing this, at not telegraphing where he's going with his dribble. But a lot of guys will kind of slow their dribble when they go for the lob and then pick it up. And Phylon just has an extra one every time. That defense is just he tricks. He's like a sleight of hand guy with his dribble, which is it's not a type of, Jamal Crawford was great at that, but like it's not what Chris Paul does. Chris Paul is like very like pound, pound, pound. And Steve Nash was more like kind of whimsical and like creative. Where Phylon's, it's really strange. It's a strange dribbling style because it's like, I think Conley kind of does it. And I would say that like Terry Porter and that kind of guard do it. Where they would just like, I'm trying to, it's hard to explain this. I've been trying to explain this about him for like a year. But some guards attack your shoulders and get your feet. And some guards attack your eyes. And I feel like Phylon is one of the best in recent memory at like, he knows they're watching his dribble. So he's just going to fuck with you and like put in little weird side dribbles. And he has great hands. And like, it's a great way to create space without being a blow-by guy, which he's pretty fast. I don't know. He has such great craft as a playmaker that I really believe in him as like an actual point guard long term. The question is just, can he shoot? Can he like put pressure on the defense as a scorer? Is he more than just like a third guard? But it's crazy to me that he didn't get drafted last year because I thought he was awesome all year.
Yeah, I don't know why he didn't stay in, but alas.
And he got paid. He got paid at Alabama. That's probably.
Oh yeah, no doubt about that. Anybody else you want to shout out that's like lottery potential kind of level?
Hans Steinbach, probably. I like him a lot at Washington.
The 6'10" freshman from Washington, big.
Another guy who played overseas and then came to college basketball and has just been like really consistent, really great hands. He's a really, really good. The comparison I have for him, this is not even a basketball comparison, but you'll get this as a fan of. Well, there's actually a specific Falcons tight end that I was thinking of for this. But he's a sort of tight end. He's almost like he's a power forward center version of that tight end who you don't really think about, who's not a blazer, who's not an over-the-top guy like a Kittle. And he's not like a big play guy down the field. But he's just that guy who will run like a 6-yard out, stop, catch, fall down. And then at the end of the year, you look at it, that guy had like 58 catches for 800 yards and 8 touchdowns. You're like, oh, I didn't realize Algie Crumpler was playing. But that kind of tight end where he's that kind of big where he's not like really. He never looks down. Sabonis is kind of like this, I feel like. Especially like prospect Sabonis, where you wouldn't really notice them running plays for him. You wouldn't really notice, like, it didn't seem like he was a focal point of the offense. And then you look up with like 10 minutes to go in the game, and it's like, oh, he's got 16 and 13, 4 assists. You're like, oh, he's had a good game. Yeah. Steinbach is just really consistent, really productive. He has great hands. I think he's got really soft touch. And he's pretty young for an overseas guy. Like he's May 2006 for a guy who's been playing pros for like 4 years. I don't know. He just seems like a very obvious starting 4/ like kind of smaller 5 guy who will probably just be really productive. Production chauvinism, as my friend Kevin calls it. Like at a certain point, you can go for tools, and tools are great. And I'm a big, especially for bigs. I still like Chris Sinak. He had a good game. But I was a Jaren Jackson guy. I was the Evan Mobley guy. Like,
yeah, Chris Sinak is interesting because like I saw him in a lot of like top 10s preseason. But then like in college, he's not I should say that. He's like not a college basketball writers person. You know what I mean? Like he's going to be a role player on Houston. Houston's also awesome, like they always are. But he's like he's kind of like there was the combo big they had, not Jarris, but like, I don't know, I can't remember. Anyway, doesn't matter. But he is a 6'10", like, very interesting player
Switch
at
big.
Houston.
Switchable big.
Switch big, and like could be like legitimately dominant defensively, potentially, if things go well.
That's the reason. This is the reason why you should. The single reason that you should have faith in Sanak as a prospect is that Kelvin Sampson's starting him at center on a team that he thinks can win the national title.
And yeah, they can. I mean, they almost won it last year, and him playing. This is a college thing, but playing him and JoJo Taylor together is like
very funny,
outrageous.
Kelvin loves it. I know he's a pervert. He loves it.
Absolutely outrageous defensively. Yeah, I'm in on him too. It might take a while, but I'm in. Who else is there we haven't talked about? You got Quaintance at Kentucky is a lottery. Got a lot of people. I know he hasn't played yet.
Yeah, he had torn ACL. I'm waiting to see. He might be the guy who rises up in that top 5 if he looks like he did last year. But I just want to see.
Oh, I have one non-college player to ask you about, and it's not going to surprise you who it is. He's related to a Hawks player.
Oh, Dash. Dash has been fine. Yeah. My pitch for Dash Daniels is his Dyson's younger brother, who looks exactly like him in a way that's kind of upsetting.
Sure yes.
I had kind of felt like he was a better handler at that age, but it hasn't really translated. Now at the NBL, he's 17 and he's playing as a role player. Unsurprisingly, he's just an absolute demon on the perimeter defensively.
Correct.
Getting steals, bullying grown men. I think Dash will go top 20. I just don't know. His offense is very much a question mark at this point, like it was for Dyson.
I mean, maybe even more so than it was for Dyson.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, he's really young. Dash is still 17.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's barely going to be draft eligible age wise. That's how young he is.
But yeah, Dash definitely has his moments where he in the NBL games I've seen where he just terrorizes people, and I always love a port of attack defender.
Yeah, I have a soft spot, and it's deeply ironic that Dyson ended up on the Hawks because he was like always a guy that I just absolutely loved.
Mm-hmm. I could absolutely see the Hawks drafting Dash.
Well, yeah, that's everything. Like with their not with the Pelicans Bucks pick, but like with their swapped Spurs Cavs pick, they're probably going to be in like the 20s or maybe late teens. That could be a Dash spot. I would not be surprised at all. Not because he's Dyson's brother, because they value the skill set. Like,
yeah,
big, rangy, guard, small forward, can defend, pass, fuel. Shooting it'd be better if he could shoot. He can't, but maybe he can eventually.
I think he probably can eventually. I don't know. It's hard to not to be completely out on like a non-shooter.
No, I'm not saying he can't shoot for sure, but we'll see.
Yeah, and then Kingston Flemings is the only other. Kingston Flemings is good. I worry. This is Houston's other freshman who just had a great game against Auburn.
He did.
I worry about his ability to actually get to the rim in the NBA, and he's got a lot of contested pull-up stuff in his game. But he's been incredible, unsurprisingly. As a Houston player,
he's a Houston guard. So yeah,
completely shut Todd Pettiford down in the closing minutes of that game. Just sat on him, and like a Cason Wallace style. Like, oh, you're just not scoring on this guy. Yeah, Kingston's really fun. San Antonio kid, he's really tough. He's just a smart, tough player. Yeah. And then I guess I enjoy him too. Speaking of Tennessee, Cameron Carr at Baylor, who was a contextual prospect there for 2 years, basically never played at Tennessee, and now is looking awesome at Baylor. 6'5", 7 foot, 7'1" wingspan, hitting threes like crazy, feeling everything. He's looking awesome. He looked better than Yesufu, who's their other freshman, who still looks, he's been good. Mm-hmm. It's weird to be like, oh, Tunde Yesufu's been okay when he's at like a 6 BPM as a freshman who's starting for a real team. You're like, yeah, he's fine, I guess. Neo Avdilas is another guy that people ran on because he had one of the better games any prospects had for Virginia Tech.
Yep.
I hate comparing people to Luka, but he's definitely a guy who's watched a lot of Luka. 6'7", kind of start stop, bigger bodied, big like guard forward type.
Hey, and by the way, if I was a 6'7",
yeah, I mean that's the guy you should watch.
Guard, that's who I'd watch too.
Thomas Houck at Florida has been pretty good. Isaiah Evans at Duke is a crazy shooter. Darion Williams is your textbook older Desmond Bain type, just big thick guy, shoots. Adai Mara has looked like a god in some games.
Yeah, he is my
finally coming along.
He's at Michigan. I think he is a better prospect than Yaxel Lindeborg. At the
it's not a worse one.
Which is fine. I don't need to. For me, that's the one team I don't care about the prospects. I just want them to be good at college basketball for now. But no, Mara's interesting. I don't know if he's like a Hawksy guy. I don't know if the Hawks actually would like to know long term from Ansi. Like, does he even want the 7-3? Like, I don't know if he even wants that guy. But we'll
Mara is if nothing else, he brings a lot of character. Because the thing I do a lot with making like draft classes on 2K or even filling out the back end of my big board, you get there's a lot of like Greg Browns and like Kendall Brown, a lot of just like that guy's a decent enough athlete, he plays okay. But like, I don't know, if I'm gonna fill out like 70, do I want my 73rd guy in my draft to just be a forward, or do I want him to be a weirdo? And Mara is real weird.
Now, granted, you are a total sicko, and I say that with love. But like, no, I think Mara could be a first round pick.
That's I think he could. He's in my tier 3 because he's just he's really incredibly good passing acumen for a center. Like he is very obviously Spanish in that he just makes Pau Gasol passes all the time. And if you watch a lot of Pau Gasol, you know exactly what I mean. Where he's just like, it's not the Jokic stuff where it's the superhuman freak stuff, but it's like I've got my back to the basket. I know there's a guy coming this way. I'm just gonna go and like fling it over the top of everybody, which is just a fun. It's really impressive to be. Let's see exactly what we'll finish this up real quick, but let's see exactly what his assist rate is at Michigan.
While you're looking at that, this is a guy who was also like not buried at UCLA, but like just didn't play that much, and it was kind of weird.
Mick Cronin.
Yeah, very Mick Cronin. That's a good point.
21 assist rate, 14 block rate. 21 assist rate for a guy who physically does not dribble. It's very impressive.
Yeah. That's
not a single one of those assists have been off the dribble. I'd be willing to bet.
Yeah, I'm definitely intrigued. So
I love Mara. We'll just go through the rest of my first one. Malik Thomas at Arkansas is also really fun, really like turkey combo guy. Christian Anderson, former Michigan man at Texas Tech, just a really fast pick and roll guard. He's been awesome. Dalen Swain at Texas is finally starting to become more of a scorer. I love him. I still don't know if I like Kareem Lopez, the other Australian player. He just can't. I had a scout derisively call him the Mexican Isaiah Livers the other day.
He's in a lot of those. Like, you see him in a lot of like top 20s.
I think he's out of mind.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, he's a guy that he's like the other guy other than Dash that you see in like a lot of the non-college stuff. But yeah, I've only seen him play, I think maybe twice. So I don't have a huge opinion at this point.
I know he can shoot. I just don't know if he does anything else. The aforementioned Yaxel Lindeborg, who's a good player. I think he might. I'm really surprised he went back.
I am too. He got a lot of money for Michigan, which makes sense. I'm just realizing this as we're talking. Is there going to be a non-college lottery pick?
May not be. This is the different. A lot of these guys are going to college now.
I guess they are. Even the European guys are going to college.
I mean, somebody will pop up because, like, I would have had Young as a lottery or even close to lottery pick this time last year.
Well, no. To be fair to you, people didn't have him that until the day of the draft, and even then,
some people did.
Some people did. I'm not saying. I'm just saying, like, I was hearing he was going to go in like in the 40s on draft day.
Yeah,
and then he went where he went. So who knows?
Then real quick, we'll go JT Toppin, also Texas Tech, just a 6'8" monster post guy. He's awesome.
Yep.
Malachi Moreno, Kentucky, is a really interesting big. He's been pretty productive at a team that has a lot of guys. Zubi Ejiofor at St. John's is an Isaiah Stewart type. That's the best way to describe him.
Yep.
So he can also kind of shoot, like the way that sometimes Isaiah Stewart can shoot. Flory Badunga at Kansas, the other guy there, has just been really active. He had 25 and 10 the other night.
Yeah.
He's stepping into that defensive role. And then I think the last guy that I have a first-round grade on, another guy that I think people don't know about yet that I'm very fascinated by is Alvaro Fulgaris at Iowa, former Robert Morris player who is allegedly has a 7'5" wingspan. He's 6'9", 225. Santi Aldama. And not just because he's Spanish, but just like this guy's like a real mismatch guy, could really shoot, could really handle, is kind of limited as an athlete, but is just super productive, like in a way that like, I mean, he was putting up like 28 and 14 at Robert Morris last year. Blocks everything. He's not even starting for Iowa, but I think that's more because all the Drake guys are starting. Ben McCollum brought 7 players from Drake with him. And
It's fascinating to me.
Yeah, but Fulgaris is just a monster. Like he's been really, really crafty. Can dribble, pass, shoot. 6'9", 6'10" guy with an alleged 7'6" wingspan is like, okay, I'm in.
Yep, I would sign up on that as well. So there you have it.
I like Alvaro.
That's a first round or so. And listen, I'm sure beg you to come back. This is again earlier than we normally would do this, but the Hawks fans are very intrigued by this draft for obvious reasons, and this draft is fun. Go ahead.
I have one more guy. He's not a first round level guy, but I think Hawks fans would be very interested to know that he's looked awesome. Jacob Wilkins, Dominique's son.
The one thing that did make the rounds was he had this crazy dunk last week. That was like, oh, that looked like Dominique.
He looks like Ryan Dunn.
Physically. I can see that. Yeah,
that's the guy he looks like. Like I loved Ryan Dunn, and I don't know if we'll see. This year is so deep and so crazy that I don't know if Jake will get like the buzz, but athletically, not surprising that Neek's son. But then again, I don't know. A lot of the sons of NBA players, like Scottie Pippen's sons, are 6'2".
It's not always a parallel. Yeah. It's not always that.
Jordan's sons were 6'3".
And we're not that level of athlete.
No,
their father.
Marcus was a good college player.
Yeah, finally. But I'm talking about just like pure athleticism.
Yeah, Jake
not quite there.
Jake looks like you would assume Dominique Wilkins' son would look athletically. He's playing at Georgia,
and he's a real player. I mean, he's
legit. I don't know if it's this year for him, but I think he will be drafted at some point.
6'9", super skinny still right now, but. Great athlete as you would expect, and young, and a guy to circle for sure.
Yeah, I like to hear about him.
He's fun at some point. Brian, thank you for being here as always. People, I've been this entire time and looking at one of your databases on your Patreon.
That's my main.
Where can people find your work, Brian? Share it with
Patreon.com/BrianJNBA. It says right there on the little ticker.
People should go find that. It's a good idea.
I'm still on X, the Everything app. I don't know.
Sorry, I was not ready for that. The Everything app, indeed, Brian.
I mean, the reason I almost missed our recording here because I didn't even. You had sent me the DM and it literally didn't even give.
I know the chat, the DM thing is broken. I don't know what's going on anymore. You and I are in a group chat, and I was like, I just didn't have it for like a day and a half. I was like, where's the chat at? And then I was like, oh, it's here. And
yep,
X is a challenging place, but hey, I still have a lot of people that follow me, and I follow them, and all the things. So I'm going to use it till I can't use it anymore.
Yep, yeah, they're going to have to drag me off.
But yeah, people should be following you there too at Brian JNBA. And Patreon for sure. I'm a patron of yours. People should be. If you're a draft sicko, and this is a great time to be a Hawks fan and a draft sicko, follow Brian, and I'm sure I'll bug you again in a couple months. We'll do this again, and we'll talk about basketball. You and I will talk about basketball anyway, just if we're not recording. So that's what we do.
Possibly college basketball.
Probably college basketball. Yeah, your Indiana Hoosiers.
I don't even know if they're good, but you know what? They shoot a lot of threes and they run around, so they're fun.
It's a more fun style than what my guy Woody was running up in Indiana.
I love you, Woody. But it was time.
It was time indeed. Brian, thank you for being here. As for everybody else, please subscribe to Locked On Hawks anywhere you get your podcasts. Follow Brian's work, and we'll see everybody next time.